This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we do partial payment for APP program, sir?
Yes, we will do all these scenarios once we complete BRS basic understanding. These things we will be doing with as a revision concept.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, these are all small scenarios only. We will do it again, with which you will revise all the topics until BRS and all the subsequent topic.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
Now
sir.
let us talk about bank reconciliation. Now, as we discussed, we have two bank reconciliation, right? What are those two in SAP?
EBRS, MBS. MBS and
Manual
EBS.
BS and electronic bank statement. So first we will be understanding manual bank statement, then we will go to electronic bank statement. Now, two types of entries in BRS in SAP. When we say there are two types of entries in BRS, point number one is direct entry. Point number two is clearing entry. By now, I hope everybody is clear with direct posting and clearing posting. Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Direct entry means what?
Means directly posting in the main GL.
Main account. Main account.
Like blank charges, bank interest.
What is clearing entry?
Sub account and main account.
Sub account. Yes.
Entry for the
These
payment.
are not specifically related to BRS. These just two types of entries. Whenever you're talking about direct entry, I'm not representing BRS specifically. Whenever I'm talking about clearing entry, I'm not specifically talking about BRS. In general, whenever you talk about direct entry, here we will give debit and credit manually. Okay. When it comes to clearing entry, if you recollect your clearing entries, whatever you did, point number one, initially what you did was post with clearing,
Yes, sir.
and later on you did clearing entry called as customer payment, vendor payment. In your customer payment, in your vendor payment, in your post with clearing screen, if you recollect once, just think, are you giving both debit, credit manually or only one manually? Only one side of the accounting manually?
Only one side of accounting.
Only one manually.
Second account.
Right? Only one we are giving manually. The second one or the other account or offsetting account, we are choosing based on the choose process open item.
Yes, sir.
Am I correct? Yes, no? Striking everyone's mind?
Yes.
Here we will give either debit or credit manually. Offsetting will come automatically. Correct? Huh?
Sir.
We will give either debit or credit. The offsetting account will come automatically based on the choose open item, process open item, whatever we are selecting. Now, when you're talking about bank reconciliation, through bank reconciliation, we will be posting two types of entries. One is direct entry, two is clearing entry. When you're talking about direct entry, here we are providing a debit, we are only providing a credit. In short, full accounting entry is manually given to the system. When you're talking about clearing entry, full accounting entry is not given to the system. Only the partial information is given. Remaining one will be taken based on the offsetting account, based on the opening logic, open item logic. The name itself is talking about clearing entry. Clearing entry is possible for all the accounts or only for the open item accounts?
Only for open item.
Open.
Correct? Clearing entry is possible only for the open item account. When we are talking about open item account with respect to bank reconciliation now, for any bank account, when we create a GL account, our GL account for bank are created in two logics. Logic number one, open sub account, main account. Logic number two, only main account. Which logic we will be following? Main sub account or only main accounts?
Main sub account.
Main
Main sub account.
account.
We will be using main account sub account concept. According to main account sub account concept, which account is open item? Is it main account or is it sub account?
Sub account. Sub account. Open item.
All sub accounts are open accounts, meaning open item management. For any account which is maintained as open item management, you need to perform the clearing or not,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
right? Clearing entry is applicable, possible for an account which is open item managed. In our BRS or in our banking GL account, all our sub accounts, in short, all the incoming related GL account, all the outgoing related GL account are treated as open item. For all this open item, we will be processing a clearing entry. Now, when you're talking about processing a clearing entry, whenever you select any post with clearing, whenever you process any payment related to customer vendor, we are giving a bank account or any other account, and customer account is coming as a choose open item. Am I correct? We are choosing open item from the customer account, or we are choosing the open item for vendor account. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
When you are choosing the customer open item, vendor open item, you will have various options, different radio buttons. Anytime we noticed? None, document number, assignment, reference, yes or no?
Yeah.
Additional information. Additional.
Right? So these radio buttons, whatever you are finding, to choose the open item, this radio button is represented as algorithm in SAP. There's something called interpretation algorithm. You must have heard this terminology, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, when you're talking about interpretation algorithm, we are talking about on what basis open item to be selected. Based on assignment number, based on the reference number, based on the document number, or based on any other parameter. In short, the radio buttons, whatever you find to choose open item, those radio buttons are basically represented by algorithm in EBRS or in MBRS setup. This point also we need to understand. And this is applicable only to choose open item. Now choosing open item is applicable only for clearing a document. Clearing a document is applicable only for sub account. Slowly we need to make sure, okay, this is how things are getting connected. Then it will be very easy for you to understand, for you to practice BRS, whether it is electronic or it is manual. Now let me take an example. Let's say Kia Motors opened bank account in SBI. Kia Motors opened a bank account in SBI. They decided to perform BRS manually in SAP. Let's say if this is the requirement and latest statement contains, let's say, one outgoing payment. Latest statement contains one outgoing payment. If these three statements we are able to see, are these three lines clear to understand?
Sir.
First point, we're talking about Kia Motors opened a bank account, okay. And then they decided to do BRS manually in SAP. This is also fine. And then the latest statement contains only one payment, meaning how many entries we need to reconcile with bank statement? Only one entry. If the statement contains only one payment transaction, we need to do the reconciliation only for the one transaction. Now to bring this into SAP, first point, MBS configuration is required. First point, MBS configuration is required. Is this MBS configuration straightforward or it has got any dependencies? This MBRS configuration straight away we cannot perform it. There are certain dependencies. When we say there are certain dependency, before you do the configuration of BRS, you need to have a bank. Bank means what? You need to have house bank.
House bank. House bank.
Yes, sir.
House bank set up for which bank account? For SBI. Am I correct? Now, when we're talking about house bank, in any organization, in any company, do we follow same logic for house bank or for every bank there is a different logic?
Same logic.
Same logic. Same logic.
It will be the same logic for all the banks. In short, the way you create the house bank, naming a convention, main account, sub account, GL ending with a 0, 1, 2, whatsoever, it will be common for all your bank accounts across your client. So you know how to create a house bank for SBI because we are all aware what is the process is set up for Kia Motors. Okay, next one is this. The first bank or any existing bank using BRS. If it is first bank, it's a different treatment. If any other existing bank is using BRS, then it's a different treatment. Yesterday we understood a point. BRS is maintained at client level or is it maintained at company code level?
Client level.
Client level.
Client level. Client level.
Right? Our manual BRS especially is maintained at client level, meaning once manual BRS is set up, it's a one-time configuration straight away applicable for all your bank accounts, no matter which country, no matter which company. Doesn't mean which company code, doesn't mean which country. Same configuration is applicable for all your company codes, for all your bank accounts. If it is manual bank statement, there might be a slight variation when you're talking about EBRS, but manual bank reconciliation is one-time config. If there is already a bank which is already using BRS in SAP, do we need to set up BRS for SBI or not required? At this moment, for example, option 1. Other banks are using BRS currently in SAP. Option 2. This is the first bank to use BRS in SAP. In the first option, do we need any configuration?
Yes.
No, sir.
No.
No.
Oh,
No, sir.
No, no.
no, in the first one.
No BRS config is required. We can directly use existing process. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
In the second one, in the option number 2, if this is the first bank account to use BRS in SAP, then config is required.
Config is required.
Config is required. That's all. Are these 2 points clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Tomorrow when somebody is asking you that, let's say your client is opening a new bank account, what will be the process, what will be the approach? For example, if this is the only statement, or if this is the only line which we are talking about, Kia Motors opened a bank account in SBI, and Kia Motors client user will send an email request to the SAP consulting team. This is the new bank account which we opened. Please set up this bank account in the system. Point number 1, what you are going to set up?
House bank.
House bank.
First one, you are going to set up house bank, and then you will set up an account ID. Once house bank account ID is set up, what else you are going to set up?
Check up whether the existing bank is using BRS.
Any other place so far we used house bank?
APP.
APP. Whenever a new bank account is created, we also need to ensure automatic payment program config is also maintained. Client will not tell. Client or user will not tell because they are not aware where the bank is supposed to be managed or mapped. As a consultant, you should understand, okay, whenever a new bank account is opened, we have to create house bank account ID, and then we need to see how are they managing the payment. Are they managing the payment manually, or are they managing the payment automatically? If they are managing the payment automatically, what is required? APP config. In APP configuration, for your company code, APP may be already used, already implemented. Then we don't do all the configuration in APP, right? You will only maintain one configuration where bank accounts are managed. What is that step from APP?
Ranking order.
Bank
What
determination.
is that? Bank determination. Okay, we will only maintain the config of bank determination from automatic payment program. Inside the bank determination, you may be maintaining ranking order bank account determination. On what combination, which bank GL account to go. And then if you are using a bank account, definitely there is something called BRS. Right? Now we also need to understand from the client, are they going to process bank statement manually, or are they going to process bank statement electronically? In short, whether they want to use EBS functionality or they want to use MBS functionality. If they want to use MBS functionality, then you need to see, is there any other bank currently using MBS functionality for this client? If yes, no configuration is required. The existing functionality will work for this bank also without any configuration, ready to use. On the other side, if this is the first bank to use MBS functionality in the system, currently no other bank is using, we need to maintain the MBS configuration or BRS config. Am I right? Slowly we need to make sure, okay, by looking at the requirement, by understanding the requirement, at least we are able to think through, I think this is what we need to do. Tomorrow when you're in the project, this is how you will get the requirement. One liner email will come from the client. Dear Ajay, we opened a new bank account. Please set up in the system. We will share the bank details. We cannot ask what should I set up. You should know how their current system is working. According to that, you should understand, okay, if a new bank account is created, this is going to be the activity. Otherwise, what will happen? I might only create house bank account ID. I will say that bank account is set up. Now your client is trying to process vendor payment. When he is running automatic payment program, if payment is not possible, then there is a problem or not? Your client may be assuming that, yes, I already got the bank account set up. Now let me process payment to new vendors from this bank account. When your client is trying to process the automatic payment program, system will not work, right? APP will start giving the error or not? Why APP is giving error? Because house bank is not maintained, house bank is not updated in the FBZP config. We only created house bank and then we left it. We did not maintain the APP config. Is creating a further problem at the time of payment or not? Not necessary. You create a house bank today, vendor will process the payment today only, right? You may be creating house bank today. Your client is processing a payment after a week, after a month. Possible or not?
Yes.
There's no rule that they should process payment immediately from this bank, right? They may be processing at a later stage, but at this moment, there should not be no problem. Similarly, when they do the bank reconciliation, they should not find any difficulty in performing the BRS, right? And we cannot tell, you did not tell me to do BRS, you only told me to create a bank account. I created a bank account. But understand, nobody will tell everything. As a consultant, we need to understand all the dependent activities related to that. Tomorrow in your interviews also, people might ask you similar questions in the similar way. If there is a new bank account created and you need to set up this bank account in the system, what will you do? They will check whether you're talking only house bank configuration or you're also talking about automatic payment and what is the other one?
BRS.
BRS.
BRS, bank reconciliation. They will check this specifically when somebody is asking this kind of a question. The whole objective is to see whether you are getting into bank reconciliation and automatic payment program or you are stopping at a house bank itself. Along with this, there is something called default profit center determination. We've already done this, I guess. In which T code we maintain a default profit center?
KH.
Okay, with it.
Okay, B9.
Default
L3KH.
profit center. FAGL
FHDL
3KEH.
3KH.
Right? Default profit center is maintained at two levels depending on the GL account. If your GL account is a cost element, default profit center is updated in which T code?
Okay, B9.
If your GL account is a cost element, profit center is maintained in OKB9. If your GL account is non-cost element, in that case,
FAGL 3KH.
FHEL 3KEH. In the regular business process, as a standard approach, all the P&L accounts will be treated as cost element. Am I correct?
Sir.
In a regular practice, all the P&L accounts will be treated as P&L account. For P&L account, by default, you will maintain OKB9 because in OKB9, cost element you will be using. If GL account is not a cost element, FAGL 3KEH, ideally OKB9 we will be using it for cost elements. In short, P&L accounts. FAGL 3KEH we will be using it for balance sheet account or non-cost element GL account. This also we need to understand because when you're processing bank account or when you're creating a bank account, you may be creating certain specific P&L account, maybe bank charges, possible or not?
Sir.
Bank charges,
Yes, sir.
bank commission with respect to this particular bank account. If we have to create a new account, we may have to set up OKB9 config also. We may have to set up FAGL 3KEH also. Everything is beginning from a single one-liner requirement called as we opened a new bank account. And we need to ensure, okay, if a new bank account is created within the bank, these are all the activities which we are going to perform. These are all the configuration where bank account is involved. Let me see what are all applicable for this situation. And when you do the testing, because when you do any configuration, are we supposed to perform unit testing or not?
Yes, sir.
When we are performing unit testing, we need to make sure you will create a house bank, you will create account ID, you will do all other relevant configuration, process a payment manually, make sure manual payment is possible, process a payment automatically, make sure automatic payment is possible, perform the bank reconciliation, make sure BRS is possible, perform a posting where you need to pull the default profit center if applicable, that is getting updated, perform another posting where OKB9 default account assignment is required, either cost center, profit center, make sure that is also working fine. With all this, you are going to prepare a unit testing document. Similarly, you will get it done by client as a UAT. Only then you will move it to production. Otherwise, we will end up configuring the system, but which is not meeting the requirement. Am I correct? So all the associated points, so slowly we need to make sure we are in a position to connect the dots. Now in this example, if I log into SAP, currently in our company code, how many bank accounts we created?
One.
Only one bank account which I created. Let me open this. I forgot my password. Okay. If I go to FS00, if I open bank accounts, currently only SBI related bank accounts which we've created. If I wanted to display house bank, what is the transaction code?
FI12.
FI12 is one transaction code. FI12 is one transaction code to create the house bank. Any other T code to see the house bank other than FI12?
FI12 underscore H bank.
FI12 underscore
HB. H bank, yeah.
H bank. Or what you can do is go to accounting here, financial accounting, bank, master data, bank master. Let me open this. Tomorrow when somebody is asking, they might be expecting this transaction code also. If you see this, manage house bank, FI12 underscore H bank, display house bank, FI13 underscore H bank, manage house bank and account ID together is FI12. Look at what I'm going to open now. Which one I'm opening now? FI12 or FI13? Let me go to FI12. Now FI12, what is the keyword used at the beginning?
Manage.
First word is what? Manage.
Manage.
For FI13, what is the keyword? First word?
Display.
Display. Usually, we used to have something called create, change, display. Am I correct? In short, in ECC, we used to have like this. Create, change, display. In S/4HANA, create, change are combined as manage. This is display as it is. Clearer? Any changes there or not in the transaction codes?
1 and 2 are merged to R2, sir.
Right, 1 and 2, whenever you are looking at any transaction code, specifically in your Fury screens, in your Fury tiles, you will use this keyword very frequently, manage, manage, manage. Wherever you're talking about manage, manage is representing create, change together. Clear? So here, when you're looking at FI12, it is representing manage house bank and bank account. Let me open this. I'm on FI12 now. If I select our company code, let's say KM10, Now on this screen, currently, are you able to see only house bank and house bank plus account ID? This is your house bank. This is your account ID. This is your account ID. Can you see below the house bank? Bank account is also displayed,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
right? In which T code I am in currently?
FI12.
FI12.
FI12. FI12, I can see house bank at the same time account ID together. If I select company code, okay, if I choose the bank account, if I go to the respective account ID, am I able to see the bank account from FI12?
Yes, sir.
This
Yes,
is
sir.
my house bank. This is my bank account. I will go back, go back, go back. Now, if you look at it, I am able to change it. Am I able to edit it or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Am I able to add a new entry or not?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Am I able to delete or not? In short, this is completely editable, either to add a new entry or modify the existing entry or copy, delete whatever I can do. It is possible because I am on the change screen. On the same change screen, I am also able to do new entry. In short, create, change are together represented as manage. Go back, go back, go back. Now let me go to FI12 underscore H bank. If I enter this, what is it asking for?
Company code.
Company code.
FI12, is it asking this? When I came inside FI12, did I get this pop-up to enter the company code?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, no, sir.
No. I will give company code KM10. Continue. I am inside this. Do I have option to see the account ID here or only the house bank?
Only house bank, sir.
There is no option from here. I can see the account ID, right? Now in S4 HANA system, are we creating account ID as a configuration or are we creating account ID as a master?
As a
Master.
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 As a master. So when you're talking about house bank functionality to your interviewer or to whosoever, when somebody is asking changes between ECC and S4 HANA system, this is one you can talk about. In ECC, house bank we used to create in FI12, in which we can create house bank and account ID together. In S4 HANA system, we have two options. We can create FI12 house bank and we can also see the account ID from here, or we can use FI12 underscore H bank, in which only house bank is created, only house bank is visible. Account ID we have to see it from Fury screen. Am I correct? What is the Fury application for house bank in SAP S4?
Manage bank account.
Manage bank.
Manage bank accounts. These points you'll have to talk as part of your ECC S4 HANA changes with respect to banking. You'll have to make a note of the T codes. Open each of the T code, look at what is the difference. If I go to FI13, this is asking me company code. If I enter, this is displaying only house bank. I do not know how many accounts are opened in this account. Am I correct?
Sir.
I'll go back. If I open FI13, FI13 underscore H bank is only showing me house bank. If I go to FI13, this is not asking me to choose the company code. This is not asking me to choose the company code. This is giving a complete display of all the company codes. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Now, there may be authorization restriction or is required or not here. If I am related to company code 1000, I'm not supposed to look at what bank accounts are there in 1710 company code or what bank accounts are there in 1034 company code. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
A user who is working in 1000 company code has got nothing to do with bank accounts operated in 1710 company code. Am I correct or not?
Sir.
Right, now these kind of authorization issues you can rectify in S4 HANA system house banking. If I go to display house bank, this similar pop-up on a particular screen, you would also notice in one more transaction code. Pop-up will not come in ECC, this pop-up will come in S4 related to periods. What is that?
Posting period variance.
Posting period variant.
Right, OB52, when you use it in ECC, this pop-up will not come. Straight away it will display all the periods, all the variants. But when you put a variant, only that will come. But in OB52, updating this is optional. If I don't choose it, if I click on all, I'll get everything. But let me try giving blank company code. If I click on continue, is this going? If I don't give company code, this is what it is telling. It is telling correct your input. If I click on correct input, it is asking me to input this. If I leave this blank, if I click on continue, if I say continue again, is this displaying anything if I don't give company code?
Blank.
If I don't give company code, am I able to see any house bank or no?
No, sir. Yeah.
No, right? Now this is more controlled than FI12.
Yes, sir.
If I give FI13 to the user, for example, if I put FI13 to the user, T code, user can see all the house banks. But if I give FI13 underscore H bank, user can give only with respect to a particular company code bank account. Which is more ideal, FI13 or FI13 underscore H bank?
Underscore H bank.
FI13 underscore H bank is more ideal because it is more controlled transaction, right? Now tomorrow when somebody is asking, you'll have to make sure these points you are explaining, and when somebody is asking to talk about the differences between ECC to HANA, these are the kind of points which you need to quote, which will give practical impact to the other person. Yes, this candidate knows the subject. Okay, now here we have done this. Clear these points related to house bank?
Sir.
You'll have to make sure that when you're preparing, when you're understanding, these key points is what you'll have to keep in your mind. Config, there is nothing, it is the same thing. But the way you're understanding the concept, the way you're relating it to the different other parameters is where you need to pay more attention. Once these points are clear, we need to make sure how many house banks currently I have. Now every time I don't want to look at in the T code, point number 1. At what level are you going to look at this, as a user or as a consultant? Are you going to look at this when you get this requirement? Are you going to look at this as a user or as a consultant?
Consultant.
Consultant.
Consultant, not the user. I am a user. I gave you the requirement. This is the bank account which we've created. Please set up in the system. Now you will look at this in the system as a consultant. Now, when you're creating this or when you're looking at this requirement as a consultant, you will set up this in the production directly, or you will set up this in the development as part of your config.
First is the development and testing.
You will set up this in the development as part of configuration. For you to set up in development, you need to understand the naming convention, logic, how to create a house bank account ID. Am I correct? Just like that, you cannot go create it. Though you know the T code, path, step by step and all, still you cannot do, because you must understand what is the naming convention which currently followed, what is the current number for house bank, what is the current number for account ID. Accordingly, you will create the next one. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
For me to know this, I need to understand the 2 points here. Your house bank is completely configuration or partially configuration.
partially configured.
This is partially configuration because your house bank contains two steps: creating house bank, which is a configuration, creating account ID, which is master data. Now, whenever you're talking about master data, there might be a difference between production system and the development configuration system. Am I correct?
Sir.
Yes, no? So there may be a difference between production system and then the development system. So if I'm not considering these points, I may create an account ID which is incorrect. I may create an account ID which is incorrect. What I mean to say here is, let's say this is my development system, this is my production system. In the development system, let's say current house bank. I'm only writing the last house bank. Let's say 1005. Production system also 1005. Okay, let's say account ID maybe just an example I'm writing. Production system may be 58 here. Are these two clear? Are these two same or different?
Different.
These two, status of the code in the development system, status of the code in the production system, are they same or are they different?
Same.
They are same. So it is mandatory for you to ensure that you look at this code currently in the production system, currently in the development system. There are possibilities where this may not be same. For example, you created another bank, maybe let's say 1005. Let's say in production there is only 1004. Development 1005. Now you will not understand why one is missing. How come it is there in development, not in production? Maybe this house bank created but not moved to quality. Maybe it is in quality awaiting user confirmation. Possible or not? Yes or no?
Sir, it
Now
will generate
all
BTR,
this.
sir.
Now I'm talking about the current status before you start the configuration. We have not started our configuration yet. Before you start the configuration, are you supposed to take the next ID or not for house bank?
Yes, sir.
Just like that, I cannot take any 4 digits of my choice. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
I need to look at what is the naming convention currently followed. In the similar way, I need to create it. If in the development system, current number is 1005, in the production system, current number is 1004, what will be my approach? Should I take 1006? Or in production 1004, I should take 1005? It's a question mark or not, which we need to understand why there is a mismatch. Where is the 1005? Who created it? If I only created it, then why it is not in production? Where is it pending? You're getting my point? Otherwise, what will happen? In production system, user will see 1005. Suddenly, user will see 1006. Now, user might raise a question, where is 1005? Why you created 6? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
But this 1005 may be created for testing purpose. No surprise. Maybe actually created based on the requirement, but user would have told, please hold on, we did not get the bank account activated yet, or some change is going on. We will confirm only after that you can move it forward. Then because of different reason, this may be on hold, or it may be pending for UAT confirmation. There may be a problem in UAT. Anything could be possible why this is not in production, right? Which you need to understand. Straight away, don't go to development, add a new entry, look at the next number, never do it. That's a mistake. Sometimes there will be mismatch between the next available number between development and then production. Which is your actual system to consider to pick the next number? Is it a development or is it production? It is always production system, not the development. Because in the development, you can do certain configuration for testing purpose. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
You would have done certain configuration only for the testing purpose. We don't import it to quality and all. We will do it. We will check. If everything is okay, you will delete the configuration. You will redo the config, capture it in a proper TR. Everybody is aware that in your development 100 client, you will have do not transport TR. Anybody is aware of it? We will have a
Yes.
TR. The TR name itself is do not transport. Meaning whenever you want to make a configuration, but you're not sure if this is going to work or not. There is no requirement from the client. There is no requirement from the user, but from your side, you want to check if I do it, I think this will work in a better way. You will do that configuration. You will ensure that your TR is stored in do not transport TR. This is nothing new. When you do a configuration, for example, if I do any configuration, when I save it, I will create a new TR. I'll put the description as do not transport. This is what I'm referring to. Clear? Now I did this. Now by mistakenly also this daughter should not go to production. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
This is I am creating only for testing purpose because there is a requirement, but I'm not sure if this is going to work or not. What I will do, am I going to do a trial and error?
Yes, sir.
When I say I'm going to do a trial and error, I will try making some configuration change, then I will test it. We are all aware you can copy the configuration from development 100 to the development testing client using which T code?
ACC1.
To copy the configuration, you will be using SCC1. We will come to SCC1. Okay. You will come to SCC1. This is how it will represent. Here you will choose the source client. Source means the TR where it is created. In which client are we creating the TR? Development 100 or development 120, 200?
Development 100.
Golden client.
Right? You will have to put source client 100, and then when you open the drop down, you will get the list. Currently it is not coming because this is the same client here. Since there is a single client, we are not getting this. Let me see. You're not getting it. Here you will get the TR list. Here you will get the TR list. When you're getting a TR list here, there are two types of TRs. T code to check my TRs.
SC09.
SC09 or SC10.
I'll go to SE09. If I go to SE09, there are two types of TR. Point number one, customizing. Point number two, workbench. Most of the configuration, whatever we do as a FICO consultant, will it generate customizing request or workbench request?
Customizing first.
Customizing request. There are very few related to bank directly, some programs and all which will trigger workbench. Most of your FICO configurations will trigger customizing request. And then most of the, not most of, workbench is directly related to programs. Anywhere, any config is directly updating the program, that will trigger a workbench. Okay. Now these two are applicable, and these two with two status. Point number one, modifiable. Point number two, released. When you're trying to release any TR, do you get, I mean, when I'm talking about releasing a TR from development 100 to development 120, from development 100 to development 120, in which you perform unit testing, you can copy the TR as many times as you want. You can copy the TR as many times as you want, nothing wrong in it. SEC1 can be done unlimited times as long as TR status is modifiable. TR status is modifiable means TR is currently in development system. Am I clear?
Sir, one
TR
question.
status modifiable means TR is in development system. Once TR is in the development system, you can make corrections to it. You can add additional configuration, delete additional configuration, but make sure whenever there is a change in the configuration, come to the development 120 client, go to SAC1, put the TR number, click on include a subtask, and then start immediately. Then your configuration will reflect in the testing client by default. Do your testing. If everything is working fine, what you will do, okay, this is how it is working. Now you need to capture the same configuration in a TR, actual TR. So far, I may be capturing in what you say, do not transport. Those who have the background noise, please mute.
Sir, it is mandatory always include task in request subtask need to take, sir, and copy it.
That is mandatory.
AJ, what's
If I
wrong
go
between
to FI12,
9 and 10? Are they not the same?
1 minute, let me open this. For example, I put a dot there. Now if I want to remove the dot, I don't know in which one I put. Where did I put the dot? Here it is. Here I put the dot. Now let's say I put the dot, I tested whatever I wanted to test in the development 120. I feel now it's working fine. When I know now it is working fine, straight away I cannot move this TR, right? Where did I save this setting? Regular TR or a dummy TR? Do not transport.
Dummy TR.
Do not transport.
Right? I saved it in a do not transport. Can I move do not transport to production?
No.
No.
No, sir.
We should not transport, do not transport TR to production. As the name itself is telling, don't transport. Still you're transporting, then they will transport you to out of the company. So you'll have to make sure what configuration you're making while saving, which TR you're choosing. You have to be very, very conscious there. Once you choose in a wrong TR, it will be difficult for you to trace. It will be difficult for you to put in the other TR. You have to delete this. You have to delete it, save it. When I'm saving it, am I getting any TR?
No.
So why I'm not getting a TR? Because system is capturing the change in the same TR where it was stored earlier, because I did not come out from the screen. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
If I forgot where it was stored, now I'm at a risk or not? I'm confused or not? Right? So whenever you are doing any configurations, once your config is completed, you are working on the two systems parallelly, development configuration client, development testing client. Do not keep the screens open. Do not keep multiple windows open. All unnecessary screens, all unnecessary windows, close if you are not working on it. Once you do the configuration, if you are able to understand, remember, it is fine. If not, write down in the Excel sheet, write down in the paper, okay, this configuration is stored in do not transport to TR. Write down the last 2-3 digits of the TR. Otherwise, you may be at a risk. When I say you may be at a risk, you will do Control S. It will straight away tell you data saved. You don't know where it is saved. Am I correct? Again, what you need to do, you need to go to SE09, open the T code, understand how it is stored. If I go to this T code to check my TRs,
SE09.
SE09. Go to SE09. Now click on display. If I click on display, there are two TRs. Now I think I would have done this setting in the do not transport TR. Expand this. Currently, what is the number of the TR ending?
429.
429. In the TR, you should always look at last two digits. What is the last two digit?
29.
29. Okay. Now, I will show you something else. Let me come here. If I try to create a new TR here, I'll just put test. What number am I getting?
31.
Is it sequential or non-sequential?
Not sequential.
Non-sequential.
How many numbers are missing?
Not sequential.
One is missing.
One
That
is
is
missing, right? One is missing. Now always remember, whenever you create a new TR, it is not the next number. It is always plus one number. If it is 29, you skip one and then add one. So 29, 30, 31. If it is 31 currently, next TR will be what?
33.
33.
33.
33. After 33?
35.
35. That is the standard. That's where you have something called. Now, as you do the further configuration, all these points become very critical for all of you. You'll have to add all these points when you're doing additional configuration from now onwards. You have a TR. TR means what?
Transport request.
Transport request. In this transport request, we have two types. One is customization request. Am I correct? If you look at this screen,
Amazing.
where is it? Yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
Customizing request. What is the second one?
Workbench.
Workbench request.
Workbench request. Now these two together is TR. Whenever somebody is talking about a TR, it can be customizing request, it can be workbench request. Sometimes people might tell CR, this is WR. Don't get confused. Depending on the situation, depending on the scenario, we need to make sure you are able to understand.
Ajay, what is transport of copies?
That I will tell. That will be used for quality system.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, this is one point. Next thing, you have TR status. How many statuses we have?
2. Modifiable and release.
Modified and release.
Modifiable and released. Now, system landscape. What is there here? Development.
Yep.
Testing.
Okay, let's say I'll put development along with client number 100. Second one, again development. I'll put 200. Any number you can put there, but make sure there are two different numbers in the development, one for config, one for testing. Third one, I'll say quality, let's say 100. Fourth one, I'll say production 100. But nowhere you will get 800 and all. These 800s and all, majority in the testing only, in the real time. Mostly we will be using 100, 200, 300 likewise. So those who are not working currently, strictly remember 100 to 200 numbers only. Now development 100, development 200, here you will get released, sorry, modifiable. If your TR is modifiable, meaning it is where? It is in development. Am I correct?
Yeah.
If your TR is copy, paste. If your TR is released, it is where?
Quality or prod or PRD.
Right? Either it is in the quality system or it is in the production system. Your TR status will become released. Once a TR is released, no more changes possible. If you need any changes after releasing a TR, you need to add a new TR. Am I correct?
Yes.
In the same TR, you cannot make any changes. You need to create a new TR. Now, in every TR, there are two things: main task and then subtask.
Subtasks, yeah.
Now, if you look at this TR, the TR number, whatever you see here, okay, this will become main task. This will become main task. Now, in the main task, you have to strictly look at the last two digits. What is the last two digit?
29.
Subtask is immediate next number. What will be the subtask?
30.
30. Now here, whenever you are making any configuration, are we saving it? Whenever you make any change in the configuration, we are saving it, right? Whenever you are saving the configuration, all your changes will be recorded in the subtask. Where it will be recorded?
Subtasks.
What will be the subtask number in our example?
30.
30.
It will be 30. Now, if I go to SAP once again, now you have an expansion box here.
Yes.
Let me expand this. If I expand, can I see 30 number here?
Yes.
This 30 is representing a customizing a task. All the task, whatever you have done as a customization, as a configuration, will be recorded here. Just expand this. If you expand this, this is asking some more thing, view maintenance data, whatever the data that is maintained. Open this. Now here it is showing v underscore t012. Wherever you see something called v underscore, it is representing a view. It is representing a view. In short, it will represent table names here. What names?
Table names.
Table names. Now copy this. What is this? v underscore t012. If I have to look at save, no, I don't want to save. If I want to look at a table, T code,
SE16N.
go to SE16N. What table is it representing there?
T01.
T02.
V underscore T012. Put as it is. Press enter. When you press,
No T.
sorry, T012. Press enter. When you press enter, this is coming, and bottom there is a message. What is the message that system is giving at the bottom?
Maintenance view exists for table.
Whenever it is telling maintenance view is existing, which means this table is a modifiable table. So whenever you get these kind of messages, when you put v underscore, it is nothing but a display mode of the table. It is nothing but, view is nothing but display. To remove it, delete this v underscore. Exclude the v underscore and keep the remaining one, press enter. Now the table is editable. Right? Earlier when I put v underscore, it is not editable, right? Everything is grayed out.
Yes.
Yes.
Right? When I remove v underscore, table is editable.
Yeah.
Okay. Now if I run this table, how many entries, records are there in this table?
56.
56. Now this table, whenever you see here, it is representing a v underscore, always read the table excluding v underscore. Otherwise you feel that this is T012, this is v underscore T012, both are not same, both are same. You have to exclude v underscore from your side. Now in this table where there are 56 record, using this TR, there is a change made or not?
Yes.
Meaning in this TR, there is a change made to this table. This table contains these many record. I do not know, you do not know what I changed. For that, what we need to do? You need to open this further table. When I open this table further, there are two more tables. One is T012. What is the other table?
T012D.
T012D. Whenever you are analyzing what I did, what config I did, what somebody modified, this is how you need to go. Open T012. If I open T012, this is giving this code. In short, this is nothing but 100. What is this 100?
Development 100.
Client.
Developing
Development 900.
Okay, development client 100. KM10. What is this KM10?
Company
Company
code.
code.
Company
House
code. SBI. What is this SBI? House bank.
House bank.
bank.
Right, and then this one. Here also same thing. In this, there is a change. Now, if I go to the next table, T012D. What is this table? If I scroll a little right side, parameters for DMEs and foreign payment transaction. In this, there was a change made. In this, there was a change made. Only the person who is working on it will be able to understand what happened. Only the person who is working on this TR, who is working on the config, will understand what is happening. You and I cannot imagine, interpret on our own, right? We can only go to a level. This is where you made change. Tell me what you did. Agree? Tomorrow when you see that, no, I don't know, I did not do it, it can be easily traceable. When I say it can be easily traceable, do not think whatever you are doing the configuration, if you feel that no, I think this is not wrong, if you revert it, delete it, everything will be captured. Along with the user ID, date, time, everything will be captured. Do not make unnecessary experiments in your client systems. For example, if I go to the same screen where we did configuration, let's say FI12, let's say 1000, house bank. In general, where are we going to check the change log? How do you check change log? Somewhere on the utilities, you will get change log.
Yes, sir.
If I click on change log, if I put date range, if I click on this ALV grid dot, am I getting this? This is a configuration. Though it is a configuration, are we still able to get the log? If there is any change, you will see this. If anybody created, you can see. If anybody deleted also, you can see. Okay, now you see deleted. Where did I do certain thing? So everything will get recorded, tracked here. So do not think that whatever you do, nobody knows your ID. I'm not sharing my password to anybody. Nothing doing. Even if you come here, for example, I will put your ID. For example, AJ712. I can see all their configurations, what they did here. I can put anyone's user. I can see anyone's TR. I can see what they did. You getting my point? Don't think that I'm not sharing my ID password to anybody. Nobody knows what I'm doing. right? You have to be smart enough to ensure you will not get any situations where you will have to face different complications. When you know all the fundamental points, how to work, how you need to ensure your work is not creating the impact, creating the problem for you, for others. If you know the basic fundamental point, if you stick to it, there is no point you will find any difficulty. Okay, coming back to this, subtask is always what? The next number. Here this is going to be 30. Now, to copy TR from development 100 to development 200, T code
SCC1.
SCC1 T code, input main task, not subtask. Am I correct? You should not give 30,
Yes,
you
sir.
should give 29. Whenever you give 29, 29 always comes along with the 30. Okay, and this is to copy, and then to
Release and import.
release TR from development to quality. This is your same SE09. Here release subtask first,
Yeah, task.
then release main task, and then to import TR in QoS or PRD. T code
STMS underscore import.
STMS underscore.
STMS underscore import. Just refresh the list. Go down. Select the TR. Click on import. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Can you also release in SE010, SE10 because it seems they are the same?
Yeah, it is same. You can use that one also. This I'll show this releasing and all in one session. Okay, for now, just remember only these key points. And when you're doing the configuration, please make sure everybody go to this T code SE09, SE10, open your TR, try to understand what configurations you have made by going to modifiable, this one, open the subtask, look at all the configurations, whatever you have done so far, and see if you're able to go to this table, run the report, you're able to identify your change or not. Clear? Then slowly you will start feeling comfortable. Okay, this is how I need to check my configuration. This is how I need to understand what is changed or what is configured through a TR. Otherwise, sometimes we will forget. It is your responsibility to understand what you have done. Sometimes it will be your responsibility to understand what others have done. Fine, then go through these points today. In the tomorrow's session, we will continue the remaining portion related to the same requirement, whatever we are writing. Fine then, so we'll connect at the same time tomorrow morning. Bye.